You can prefer that. Okay, we are starting the Parks, Landmarks and Cultural Affairs Committee meeting at 6:32. I'm Neil Barclay, I'm the chair. Rather than just go off the complete script, because we've been doing this now for 5 years. We'll just say we have Brian Lafferty from the CB6 office who will be supporting us here. And just a couple notes, I would say on the chat. We're gonna use common sense and let's all be adults and respectful to each other. Let's see, we got the minutes from June, which Sarah took. Thank you so much. You're welcome. There's no complaints, or if everyone agrees, we can adopt those. Okay, they look good. Can we put the agenda up?
I'll put that. 1 second, and then I'll take roll call vote.
Yes.
Roll call, rather. So the agenda is before us on the screen. I'll take a vote. I mean, I'll call for vote. Neil Barclay.
Present.
We accept the agenda?
Yeah.
Okay, just want to put it on the record.
Yes.
Okay.
Marty Barrett.
Present.
Thank you. Paige Drudge.
Present.
Thank you. Anton Mulner.
Present.
Thank you. Rishma is excused. Letty Simon.
Present.
Thank you. Mark Thompson.
Present.
Thank you. Sarah Whittington.
Present.
Thank you. Robert Parfit.
Present.
Thank you. Mubin Siddiqui.
Present.
Thank you. Gloria Hay.
Present.
Thank you. And do we have Rabia Iqbal? No. Okay. With 10 and 12 present, we have a quorum.
Okay, can we also take Sheena Kaufman off mute, just so
Sure.
she can speak freely?
Hi, good evening, everyone.
All right, so we will start with, and I would just say we're going to try to keep it moving along with the vice president, the vice presidential debate, so let's see, try to get out here. Okay, so we will start with the first agenda item and lights at St. Barton Park. They would be on the field. The Parks Committee, we had a discussion with Sheena Kaufman with Parks. And Sheena also spoke to Recreation. They were comfortable with the idea of putting lights at St. Barton Park. I think I think before they were a little bit reticent to do it because of possible quality of life issue on 35th Street, as it would be beaming there into that block. But the type of lights that are available should not cause a problem for 35th Street. So we are going to add this to the budget, and we're also going to pass a resolution that shows that we agree with this. It's $2.3 million, so that's how much the expense is. So we'll have the resolution for that. But also, we have the goal we're looking into having temporary lights there as well. Few other notes, with the lights, it's not going to extend games to 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. It would be something that's more reasonable, maybe 9 o'clock in the summer. That gives it, I mean, this is just generally speaking right now, maybe 9 o'clock in the summer, that's 30 extra minutes of light. They would really be valuable in the winter if you think about it. It gets dark at 4:30. It could play until 7, 8 o'clock, that would be fantastic. So,
Who'd be responsible for turning them off?
well, my son, he's interested,
Because, if nobody's
So we would-
responsible for turning them off, then the possibility for games and or the plunk of paddleball or whatever, it can go on forever.
Yeah,
No.
it'll be
So-
soccer.
So no, that wouldn't happen. So we can, there's several ways we can do it. We control the lights. We control all of the lights that we have at all our fields, which is under our recreation division, and we set a time on it, right? That it can go. We control them. We can control them from our phones, and so if we feel that something is being done that's wrong, or the lights don't go off on time, we can just, we give a call to the person that's in charge, and he'll be able to shut them off, do his phone. So we went way past that, and that's how we control most of the lights. So that wouldn't be an issue at all.
Anton, I'm sorry.
I was gonna suggest, why not put the lights on timers?
Yeah. All off.
Well, sometimes timers can be a little finicky, right? So we have that ability to control them ourselves through our phone. So that would be, so it's a backup to the backup.
I just have a quick question, if this is all new to me, but I assume the lighting is for better illumination of that space where kids play. Will these light poles maybe have electrical outlets in them?
Sheena?
No, none of the fields have electrical light loads in them, right? It's a I give you an example if you have the time. We have these floodlights at 128th and 3rd Avenue. It's called Harlem River Ball Field. So if you take a look there, that's how the lights are, and we control them as well. And we actually building the field now at Colonel Young on 143rd, between 143rd and 145th. We're actually in renovation now and construction, and so that will happen there as well. So we're very versed in these lights now. We've come a long way. That's how we were able to regulate the lighting and the how bright the lights are, because we have a pretty good experience with them now at this point.
This is Mabeen, how are you?
Okay.
Sheena, the reason I was asking is like similar to some of the other parks we've seen where there are events in the park and you need an outlet. I was just wondering if you might consider having an outlet in the bowls.
No, that wouldn't work on for these ball fields, because the design is different, and parks parks does not provide lighting, right? If you want a lighting for your event, you have to actually pay for a company to come. We don't provide the lights, because then it gets a little out of hand, right? We do some pole tapping, but the taps belong to Department of Transportation, so we have to really go through them as well. Right, all parks lights belong to Department of Transportation. So every time we tap a pole, we must notify them, right? Because they're in control of the lights. So we wouldn't do that anyway, because then you're bringing in a lot of other things, parties and electric wheelchairs. It just gets out of hand. If there's an event that wants to take place, just have a company order just rent the lights for the day, to make it easier and better.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes.
I am Charlie Banks. I'm one of the representatives of the pickleball community, the St. Barton Park. 2 years, 8 months ago, we submitted a capital expense budget request for resurfacing of the courts, and it included lighting for the handball and basketball courts. Since we're so far down the path in lighting the field, perhaps consider lighting the basketball court and the handball, wall ball, pickleball courts? Has that
So,
been consideration?
so, basketball is probably better. We probably can get that, but we do not do handball courts. None of the handball courts have lighting throughout the city. Um, Basketball courts, we have some courts that have lighting, but they're very few, and I think some of them are rented. I believe some of the courts on the lights on the basketball courts are rented. You know, for sporting events that take place during the summertime that go later in the evening, like a Rucker Park, so to speak, for example. The you know, but that's a big expense there that Parks doesn't take on. So it's basketball is probably a little more reasonable. Um, but for handball, for the pickleball courts, handball courts, I've never seen it done in Parks.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sheena, I appreciate your response. I don't want to get too far ahead, but I had also requested that the handball courts be co-designated as handball and pickleball courts. Anthony Perez's office at the time said they weren't gonna expand any pickleball courts within Manhattan.
Okay.
I've spoken with Tricia about this
Mhm.
and did a walkthrough with her last month on the handball courts, which are used extensively for pickleball, which is undesignated for parks, and I get that and respect it. But it seems to me that a stroke of the pen would make them handball and pickleball courts. And then possibly something new. We light up pickleball, handball courts in Manhattan for the people who play through the year. We have shoveled that court to play in the middle of the winter.
Well, you know that would be definitely a great idea to do. That would problem with that is that if we do it for one, we're gonna have to do it for all. And I don't know if the city is willing to go that far to light up every pickleball handball court. But there are some people that still do play handball. Um, we're currently having some problems now at St. Barton's because someone um put two holes in the handball court walls. So that's very concerning to me. Um, that that was picked up by supervision. Um, you know, to install nets, which that's not supposed to be. Um, getting
That'll be
getting.
rectified. And Sheena, sorry to interrupt, but that will be rectified. Post
Uh,
haste.
I know, I know, because I have my team already on it to address.
Okay.
Because that's a hazard in itself. But you know, if y'all want to put pitch for it to be handball courts, for pickleball courts, it sounds great. You know, pickleball and handball. Um, it sounds great to me. It's a great idea. The city has to, approve it. I have no disagreements with it. I think pickleball is up and coming, but we also have to have some, fine details worked out. Far as lighting, I don't know if the city would support that because then they would have to do it for every pickleball. And at this present time, we're having problems everywhere with pickleball. And to put lights there would only probably um, escalate the problem until we can get this pickleball under control.
So, I'm just gonna go to Marty.
I propose a resolution. I propose a resolution to, be in favor of having the lighting in the ball fields.
Okay. Is there any,
I second it.
is this a question about the lighting?
Yes,
Yes, sure.
so are we saying that all of the play fields in the city already have lighting? And now we're putting lighting here to catch up with everybody else?
No,
Because
No.
we can't lighting on the pickleball court because no other place has it.
no, so the reason why they're, there are, many other parks in the city that already have the lighting, so we're adding that. As for the pickleball court, like Sheena explained, we don't have that yet. Maybe it's something that can be discussed, but, it just doesn't, it's not going on yet in Manhattan. I don't know if, St. Barton could be the first or would be the first. Perhaps this is something that could be discussed more, but, just right now, it doesn't seem like that's where we're going.
Yeah, so I understand you wanna go more to lighting, but for pickleball slash handball, it would be nice, that's kind of why I'm here, is to propose half pickleball, half. And that's goal, so hopefully.
Right, so, well, that one is for Vincent O'Donnell. Yeah, so we can discuss that one more when he comes up, and then we'll talk about the resurface. Okay, thanks. So you have the resolution, Letty seconded, so, in the resolution being for supporting lights at St. Barton Field. So I think that's, pretty much it, $2.3 million, that will be the request. Okay.
A motion has been made and seconded. So we'll take a vote by roll call. When your name is called, please answer in favor, opposed, abstain, or not entirely. Marty Barrett,
In favor.
thank you. Paige Starch,
In favor.
thank you. Anton Malman,
In favor.
thank you. Reshma Patel is not with us this evening. Letty Simon,
In favor.
thank you. Mark Thompson,
In favor.
thank you. Neil Bart,
In favor?
thank you. Sarah Whittington,
In favor?
thank you. Robert Farfan,
In favor.
thank you. Rubin Siddiqui,
In favor.
thank you. Gloria Hayes,
In favor.
thank you. And Rabia Iqbal,
In favor.
thank you. With 11 in favor, 0 opposed, 0 abstaining, and 0 not entitled, the motion passed.
All right, who's going to write it? Okay, I have a draft from last year, so I can send it over if you have.
It makes it so much simpler.
Okay, cool.
You lucked out.
All right, we now move to 1B, presentation by the St. Barton Park Conservancy regarding resurfacing the handball court. And this will be Kevin O'Keefe, who will give the presentation.
Would you like me to stand?
Sure, wherever you know.
I want to give a couple of shout outs. Two of our board members, Sue and Stephanie are here. Thank you for coming. They've been a part of this presentation I'm going to make. And yes, we'll try to make it brief. You can go to the next slide. For those of you who are not familiar with St. Barton Park, we're going to focus on what's in purple, but I just wanted to show you a picture of the park. It goes from east on the top to west on the bottom. And these are kind of in order: garden, restrooms, compost drop-off, recycling bins. These are all public amenities. Little Free Library, which the Conservancy stewards. Also, we take care of a community display board. There are picnic tables, playground, athletic fields, basketball courts. Also want to give a shout out to Sheena Kaufman, just for your work, not only on the lights, but day to day, just being a tremendous partner of the Conservancy. So thank you, and Neil as well, for your huge lift on the lights. We can go to the next page. Okay, so in the 1930s, the west side of the park was made into a handball area. Handball was mentioned. Just like a lot of things in this world, we have progressed. In the 1930s, pickleball wasn't even invented yet. That came in the 1960s. You go to the next slide. This is just one of many third-party testimonials about how great pickleball is at St. Barton Park. This is from Gotham Magazine. One of Manhattan's top spots to play pickleball has to be St. Barton Park, and an uplifting atmosphere. You go to the next slide. What I did want to point out is that this is a community, the pickleball community, and yes, we have handball players as well, but we can't break up this community of pickleball players. There's somebody who put on her Instagram post just one of many stories, and that was about Eli. Eli was somebody, thank you for that. She happened to be here, beyond level. And his best friend since diapers moved to Austin, Texas. So Deanne and friends decided they're gonna fly him up here to the pickleball court where they used to play and have a big reunion. It's a surprise birthday party. That's just one small anecdote about this great community of pickleball at St. Martin Park. Because of that, and Charlie Banks is here, as you heard, he was really major force behind this. The Conservancy donated a equipment storage chest, and also because of Charlie and his connections, supplied the equipment. So here's Into Pickleball, a pickleball media outlet that says New York City is the country's best city for pickleball. No equipment, no problem at St. Martin Park. Online storage with equipment to make it easier for beginners to play. So you have a combination that will allow you to get into that. And Charlie, I don't think we've lost anything. Any equipment that we've lost?
No,
or-
we haven't lost any equipment. It's been locked up. It's been quite a successful approach based on self-funding from the pickleball players.
You mentioned, we think it's special, but we also know it's special, and that's why we have a lot of third-party endorsements here. You go to the next slide. Gotham Magazine, after they did that shout out, actually, their parent company, Modern Luxury, runs a bunch of magazines. They came out with a feature about pickleball in the United States, and they featured 20 venues. There's only one in New York State that was there, and that was St. Martin Park, because it's so special. We have uneven tar top. Why? This is from July 3rd, 1936, when it was put in. I think it's time for an upgrade, don't you?
That looks good.
That is the L, Second Avenue L here.
Wow.
Wow.
So you can look, and this next picture is going to be showing from the same angle. There's now a cathedral there. But as much of a great community, and there's a lot of people been going on dates together right here, and any marriages yet? No divorces. No divorces. There are 4 active courts there. There's always high player volume. We have a diversity, not just in race, but in age. This assumption that it's just old people that play buckball is not true. Another shout out to Charlie, but also, is she here? Cheryl Arluck is here. They have been really instrumental in helping build up 2 Slack channels that are just about St. Martin Park pickleball, total of 4,752, I think, at last count.
Wow.
You go to the next page. Let's take a look at just a normal Friday. This happened to be last Friday. 4 courts.
Sorry.
You can take the audio off and just play the video.
Is the audio on?
I don't know. Cheryl, do you want to do the sound effect? Okay, where are we? I'm in the next slide. Almost, we're just wrapping up here with a few more. While we're waiting, I just want to throw out some statistics for those of you that want to know about the popularity of pickleball, because you might have heard it is, but it's true. So, Sports Fitness Industry Association has reported this year that last year, 13.6 million people played pickleball in the United States, and that pickleball has the highest growth rate of all participatory sports over the past 3 years, up over that time, 225%. We talked about diversity. We talked about dating. New York posted a story about how people like to come to the courts to find their love. And this just shows you that people are coming to the community from all over. Kate Whittier happens to be from the West Village. So this is a lot of people, this is their first reaction to our community and to the park. They're being exposed to Murray Hill, to Gibbs Bay because of these pickleball courts. I think we deserve to give them really good courts. You go to the next page. Yes, you might recognize that man with the pickleball. Again, this is a breakdown of the 2 channels that I talked about. Another media testimonial about the Slack channels. You go to the next slide. Again, 1936, you see the handball court. kind of, it's hidden behind here. This is now the entrance to the Queens Midtown Tunnel. Okay, the surface, as we've established, is outdated. It's concrete, a lot of cracks and protrusions. And what happens is it lacks the proper shock absorption. It creates stress on players' joints. You're saying any serious injuries? Yeah, broken wrist, that counts. A lot of sprained wrists and sprained ankles. So we need to get a better surface. We can go to the next slide. Let's show you, this is current condition. These pictures were taken on Friday. And I know some is hidden by the words, but more cracks and protrusions. Next slide, please. Okay. And we got thousands of players playing here every week, and this is what they're coming to. And Sheena, on behalf of the Conservancy, I didn't know, but those 2 holes, as Charlie said, not cool. We need to take care of those holes if they were created by anybody from the pickleball community. Next slide. Okay, this is what we need in a new surface. Really comes down to 2 things, comfort and safety, but safety first. Level, seamless, no slip, fast drying after rain, cushioning to diminish, like I said, that stress on players' joints. Normally, the good pickleball surfaces, they have concrete and layered over as acrylic paint or rubber. I'm sure you've seen some. We also need a true pickleball bounce, else it's not really pickleball. It's fake pickleball, and it puts less wear on shoes. How many pairs have you gone through, Charlie?
One pair gets you, yes, yeah, so I was just gonna say 2+ pair a year, who play throughout the year.
Yeah. And there are people.
Each of the shoes, but that's not the biggest issue, is the safety.
Just take care of Charlie.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care of Charlie, you take care of the cool pickleball community. Next slide. Thank you for that photo. Your daughter. Our requests are 2, a budget for safe, comfortable new surface, as we talked about. And we'd like to designate, we think that this community has earned the right to have official New York City Parks pickleball status. We will do whatever it takes. We'll put Conservancy volunteers in there. There's already a lot of people from the pickleball community that I'm sure would love to contribute. And, oh, just one more request. Sorry, I had to do this to the city. One last slide. And that's that we have a trial open street on 36th Street next to the park. We played a lot of pickleball there. We need the space. So we have a petition at change.org/open street. Last I checked, there were about 250 signatures. Please, everybody, if you want an open street next to the park, play pickleball and other activities, change.org/open street. Thanks for your time.
Fantastic presentation. How much is the request? Is this a $500,000 or?
I think it's $500,000.
Okay.
Now, some will quote you $50,000 a court, but that's in places like the Midwest where prices are a little bit different.
Right.
I think $500,000 is a request. And then there's something I had mentioned in there, I didn't say it out loud. There are inner fences behind the baselines of 2 baselines. I don't know if those need to be there. I just wanted to throw that open. That would give more running space. And you could pave, that should be part of you're not just resurfacing the playing area, but maybe enough space so people run for a ball. They don't have to go back on concrete.
Okay. So thank you.
But give or take $500,000.
Okay, so thank you so much. So I think that's something we would support, right? I mean, we all know St. Barton, very important park. Great presentation. You still didn't say enough about that New York Post article about people finding love there. St. Barton is.
There's gotta be a line about, I'm not gonna do it, sorry.
Yeah. There was a girl who said that she found out that St. Barton, it was a really good place and everyone started to go there and she says she now wears mascara every time you plays, so.
Just one question, the open street that you mentioned on 36th Street, isn't that the main thoroughfare going from 2nd Avenue to 1st Avenue?
Great question, thank you. No, it only goes from 1st Avenue to the tunnel of Probe Street. So the entrance to the tunnel is not affected at all.
I'm just trying to figure out which street you're talking about, because I drive from Second Avenue to First Avenue coming down 36th Street.
The tunnel approach street is the one that it cuts.
So you're talking about the
park
other
in two.
part, you're talking about the tunnel street, not the main street leading up to First Avenue.
Yes, the main street from First Avenue to Tunnel Approach Street.
Is that what you want to call open
Yes,
street?
and there was a trial there in 2 years ago. Alliance for Kips Bay led this project. It was super successful. We had over 300 people for a Halloween parade, just as one example. Bike New York came out and gave free bike lessons. So it's
So
been
do we want
proven.
to shut it down? Is that what we're asking? I'm just trying to understand what the ask is.
Yes, completely shut, well, not necessarily 24/7, 365, but at least on the weekends,
Understood,
at least.
It's the transportation committee,
I see.
not us.
So, we're saying then 500,000 for the resolution, that sounds good.
Can you just not hold me to that number?
Is there an estimated budget or we're just guessing?
No, we never guess, Letty. It was,
Yeah.
talking to a number of people. And Charlie, does that concur with what you've heard as well separately?
Yes.
And Charlie, our resident pickleball, expert, nods to the 500,000.
So an estimated number of $500,000
Yes.
Okay,
to be
so
researched.
the estimated number. Anyone who would like to write it? Are you going for, 3 or no?
Oh, come on, do it, Marty, do it, come on.
Well,
Because I mean, it's like the format is.
It's, well, the resolution would be for the flooring of, on the pickleball court.
Yeah.
As far as the dollar amounts, for this and the lighting, that, both of those should be put on our budget priorities.
So we have it on the budget
They
priority,
should be put on the,
but we're also going to put that in the resolution.
As an estimated.
Yeah,
I mean,
so you don't wanna write it now?
well, CV6 has always had the, unofficial policy that we don't promote the dollar amounts in the resolutions. The dollar amounts are to be in the budget priorities. This way, the possibility of getting the dollars from the elected officials, et cetera, is greater. And also, otherwise, every resolution will have dollar amounts that we're promoting, and invariably, we would get very little
But
payment for it.
Yeah, so I know, thank you. I know last year we did do that. We put numbers in and, you know, the Sutton Place Parks, the 54th Street Park, they were able to receive funding and we did have the funding numbers within the resolution. So it's something nice that we added, you know, it's kind of like the portfolio that they have, rather than just saying it's a CD6, the priority, they have it right there. So, and it looks nice as a header and everything.
but we should also include in there the idea about going past the actual court, like possibly looking at removing the fences and even.
If I may, because I'm, you know, there are pickleball people here, that's my thought, but I did want to throw it out. Has that been discussed?
Yeah, because if those fences, those, what, 3.5-foot fences were removed, be able to center courts on that space and give more space on both ends.
You don't run into it, right?
Yeah, however, we want to be very considerate of different groups of users of the limited resources, right? We do notice that there are people who would use the space back there for tennis practice.
Yes,
And we would
yes.
not want to
I do
take that
see that.
space entirely for ourselves.
Yeah, you see.
I think
kids.
any solutions that, kind of hybrid solution that takes care of needs of different groups of people at different times, we have figured out a way to coexist. So that should be good. I mean, if we can move the fence just maybe a few feet below or behind where it is currently is, and still retain the space for tennis players if they want to come practice, that would be the best. I would not advocate for the removal of the entire space.
So what I think, I wouldn't say in the resolution removal or even moving it now, because I do pass by there and there are kids that are out there and, you know, their parents are helping them to play, you know, to learn to play tennis. So I would not include that in this resolution, but I would love to come back and visit that again. I just, wouldn't want to put anything in the resolution and then parents or, upset about that. Yes.
So, just so I understand, so you guys wanna put in a surface for pickleball in the St. Martin area where people play tennis, handball, and I really think people should add tennis, because I'm there all the time and people play tennis. And everyone says handball and everyone says pickleball, and tennis just seems to just get left off and flow in.
Yeah.
But what, go ahead, I wanna get to my point is, if you're changing the surface to a pickleball surface, how does that affect a tennis ball bouncing or a ball?
It's the same
Ball.
stuff.
It's better.
You just said it's rubberized.
It's rubber or painted acrylic over cement. I mean, that's
So
what.
just 1 second. Sheena,
It changes.
yeah, so just 1 second. So Sheena, so I know you're hearing the question. Is there any difference with having, I guess we'll say a pickleball surface or court with the rubber that's there? Does it have any impact on handball or on tennis?
So
Like the bouncing?
pretty much the pickleball and the tennis are pretty much the same. Handball is different. All right, handball is concrete. So if you're going to divide it as they would like it to do, you can do one side for pickleball and keep the other side for handball if that's a decision that I want to go with. I don't know how many people play handball. Every time I'm there, is mainly pickleball. I see, like 90% of the time that I'm there, it's pickleball that's being played there. And I do realize that this used to be a bigger pickleball area, but it's not. But they're two different surfaces. The handball and the pickleball. But tennis is the same thing as the.
Okay, so handball, pickleball are fine. Tennis, it has an impact.
No, so tennis and
I'm sorry,
pickleball.
handball. I'm sorry, yes, handball. I'm sorry about that.
Handball is
Okay.
different.
Okay,
handball
yes.
is different.
Okay, so then we still have people who actively play handball there, right?
On a limited basis.
I would agree on a limited basis. I would definitely agree. It's more pickleball.
Yes.
It's probably more pickleball and tennis than it is.
Yeah, do we know if they have any groups or organizations?
They have a WhatsApp group, and the liaison who I've worked with, has recently moved to Tucson. So I haven't heard from anybody, we haven't seen anybody in the early mornings, I don't think, in months and months, and I think what they've done is decided to play exclusively at Robert Moses, or they go to, DeWitt Clinton, or another.
Astor Levy, which is not too far away.
Yeah, Astor Levy.
So basically, just want to recap my understanding. The surface for tennis and pickleball are exactly the same.
If you're talking about putting rubber paint, which is what I'm hearing the word rubber, okay? That will affect the bounce of a tennis ball. That's fine, so then let's make the determination on using acrylic instead of a rubber surface, okay? There's a very big difference.
It's a difference, but
grass, they play on hard court and they play on clay. Don't tell me the ball doesn't bounce differently, because my knees know it bounces.
all right. So he's absolutely right. The surface for tennis and the surface for pickleball are similar. They're not the same. There is a difference, because for tennis, we don't really have tennis courts in St. Martin's. If we're going to do, we need to do one or the other. Having the different ones will be such a problem. We do have a lot of unutilized handball courts. But Astor Levy handball courts is definitely utilized. Utilized. I would prefer, if you want to do pickleball, to do it all pickleball, right, at at St. Martin's. I think there are more players playing pickleball there than anywhere. I don't see much tennis, and I rarely see any handball there. So, and then there's not a lot of courts there. So
So you're saying
would-
that the 4 people that were playing tennis there yesterday, we didn't exist? I mean,
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I did. That's
Yeah,
not
so-
what was said.
Okay, so
I
one second, so Sheena, with the current surface, if we just were to redo the surface as it is right now, it wouldn't have an impact on handball, pickleball, or tennis, correct?
Yes.
If you redo the set, no, it will.
No, I mean, with what we have right now, if we were just to redo it, resurface that, because, yeah, as is, it would not have an impact on the 3 sports.
It will because handball is meant to be played on concrete.
No. Right now, with what we have, if we went to St. Barton right now, there would be no
Concrete.
impact. All right, so all 3 sports could play with no impact, right?
That'd be a waste of money.
Yeah, but see, concrete is not good for pickleball, right?
Right.
They utilize it because it's there, but it's
Right,
really
but-
not good.
Right, but the challenge is that if we have people who play tennis, or we have people who play pickleball, and we have people who play handball, I don't know if there are any groups or, people in the community who you have, I guess like interaction with or correspondence with, who do play handball. Is there a large group or are there people that you know?
I don't see a large group of handball. I don't. I'm not saying that they don't play, right? I don't see it. I see more of pickleball being played than anything.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, just 1 second. Okay, because what my concern is that if we just forget the handball players, right? And then we hear, because this happens often, and the gentleman here, he came and he had a concern about pickleball at Vincent Albano, and he advocated very well for his neighborhood. And so what my concern would be is that if we just push something through, we don't think about the handball players, this comes back, they'll be upset. They would have a right to, they should have a voice.
Well,
I
I can say
handball players are down at Astro Levy.
They're at
A lot.
Astro
We
A lot.
can make that assumption.
And I don't know about that.
those are groups, but if,
those-
okay. So if we're gonna be kind of fair about it, right? There is still gonna be handball at Vincent Albano, right? There's still gonna be handball there. Because there's so many players that play at St. Barton's, to give it a better chance of having more people play at St. Barton's, doing those courts over to accommodate the pickleball players will probably be more beneficial than anything, right? We have a lot of handball courts here that are in this area that are very underutilized, right? Very underutilized.
So just 1 second.
We can enhance if we want to.
Okay, all right, so that's good, then there are other options. What do
Pickleball
you
courts
think,
are
Marty?
mostly concrete or asphalt with polyurethane or a specialist acrylic coating.
Okay,
And so if it's concrete, it's concrete now, it'll be concrete, you'll put a polyurethane on it, you can still play tennis on that, and you'll still be able to play a handball.
If I may.
so, James, 1 second, I'm sorry, Mark, what do you think?
I'm not sure, because it's like there's 3 different things. We don't want to disenfranchise anybody who's there playing there.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, the back of my mind was someone saying, do we designate this as a pickleball court, pickleball park, or whatever it is, which hasn't been done yet? Is that a possibility? And then redirect people who are playing, like say tennis to a different place or handball to a different
So
place?
Albano.
Yeah, but is that fair? I don't know.
It's just not enough space to accommodate everybody. The space is just not that huge, right? And if you want to get enough people to play that particular sport, right? Somebody's going to suffer. There are more handball courts and more there are more handball courts than there are pickleball courts. And so dedicating dedicating this area to get more players to play pickleball at this particular site, where they can go to various other locations and play
For
handball.
Okay.
Same, Asalevi has a pickleball court and it has a handball court, but it has the space for that, right? It has the space for it. This particular park doesn't. So that's why there's a little unbalance. You can always, if you want to do one side pickleball and keep the other side handball, that would be great. You just be waiting a longer time to play pickleball.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. If you want to be fair, you could do 1 and 1, but if you want to give a better chance for the sports to thrive and more people to play pickleball, you can. Why not make St. Barton's the pickleball area where you got Vincent Abato down the block for handball, Robert Moses, and you have Robert Moses on the other side, and Asalevi.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was just gonna say what Sheena said, which was to designate one for pickleball, and five blocks down is what you said, Albano to play the tennis and the handball, and then the other thing I was gonna say is the amount, and I hate to be disrespectful, but the amount of numbers that supply and demand, there's a lot more players,
Oh,
and
yes.
that's all I'm saying, I don't wanna be disrespectful.
Honestly, I feel that St. Barton should tear the wall down and resurface the entire thing and turn it into a pickleball court, period. I mean, if you're gonna do it, do it. Don't mess around, because in a year or 2 years, we'll be back here going, I don't know. And
We don't want that.
Just do it.
Yes. Yes.
So I have played pickleball in various places.
Okay.
And up until very recently, and still in existence, almost all the tennis courts in Florida, sure, are designated pickleball. They're marked, they're double marked. So people play on the same surface. Tennis, tennis and pickleball.
Right, but it is a groomed tennis surface, not concrete.
Yes, it is, it's a tennis surface.
I know.
Tennis is not played at St. Barton Park. Tennis wall ball is played
Right.
for people practicing to play tennis. There are not tennis courts at St. Barton Park.
Right.
Okay, it's just like if I'm practicing pickleball, playing wall ball against myself.
Okay, so I'm sorry.
If I may add one other
Sure.
thing. Currently, we have painted lines for handball and pickleball at St. Barton Park on all 4 courts. And it works out, and it could be double marked with the new surface.
Okay, so I just want to go around.
Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you. Rob. Yeah, I'm just gonna say I move around. So, sorry, but yeah, it's like ADHD.
I just have a quick budget
What's that?
question. If we submit a resolution with a budget, then does that hurt our chances in the future of like resurfacing the playground or something?
No.
We can do it.
Yeah.
Okay. But in a prioritization, like how does that?
So that's just something with the budget, but we can chat. Okay, so just to go around, what does everyone think? And I think the concern that I had was about handball. Like I said, I just didn't want a group of people to get pushed out. That's, kind of become like David Gore now. Forget this group, I don't care, I'm gonna do what I want. So it does sound like, and especially Sheena is comfortable and there are multiple handball courts. Are we, comfortable to, I guess, like the $500,000 and to have it for a court that would accommodate for pickleball and also people who still play tennis? And I'm sorry, you're saying.
I was just saying, I actually kind of concur with your initial comment that I first of all, I really appreciate the passion I'm seeing for the sport. I'm definitely gonna take it up. I haven't done it, so. But I do think I've been a steward of a park on the Upper East Side for almost 10 years now and heard all of these kinds of passionate conversations by different constituents. There would always be majority doing something, but there were minority groups that were doing other things. And eventually, after 10 years, we discovered the only solution is to accommodate everyone at some level. So for instance, in our case, the issue was there was a dog run just a few blocks away, but nobody in the neighborhood took their dogs there. And this, for whatever reason, this park did not have a finally this park is now functioning much more cohesively because we finally forced a little space for a dog run right here as well. Because you want to accommodate everyone that's in the neighborhood to have a solution that I should walk 10 blocks to another park when I invested in a building right here, because there's a playground here, ask me to go somewhere else, I think is maybe not very practical, while it may be, it may be a thoughtful suggestion, but I think it may not be the most practical. So I think we should find a compromise where everybody gets represented in the playground.
Yeah, I think that was my initial thought, and I do agree. I just think, with what Sheena said, and because Sheena's out here, and this is the award-winning Sheena Kaufman. Yeah, no, seriously. And, so she really has her finger on the pulse here. So I would say, and if you don't agree, you can have your.
No, I'm
vote,
just throwing it
obviously.
out because I've just seen people be very unhappy, so.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely, like I said, I mean, it's David Gordon now where it's, it's what I want, and this is how about everything in life, there kind of really isn't too much of a balance. But, okay, so I would just say to someone want a motion to have that, resolution?
Motion. So $500,000 is way too much.
Oh,
I'm looking at the prices of a tennis court. Figure, that's for north of here, but just say it's double that. So we're talking more like $30,000 a court. Maybe it's triple, $45,000 a court. How many courts are there? 4. So 200,000 is more what it would really be costing.
200? You ask too much, you don't get anything. That's the problem.
But this is New York City. It's gonna be far
Well,
more.
it all depends. If you're keeping the handball courts, then I agree with you. But if you're not keeping the handball courts, to take down the handball courts is very expensive. So the $500,000 will come into play. So it depends on. It all has a lot. It depends on what you're going to do. So that's the issue. And then the fencing. If you want adequate fencing to be much better, to upgrade the fencing. So all of that plays into part, depending on what you want to do. At the particular, if you want to make it brand new, if you're going to invest all this money in it, then get the whole value of it.
So I'm thinking maybe Marty actually was right in the beginning, that maybe we just leave the money out of this and let parks figure out what it's gonna cost.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
The much bigger number is if it's a tear down, replace, meaning ripping out the concrete. Okay, and this is what the folks in the paint department shared. I didn't speak to Sheena about it, but when they repaired the expansion joint cracks last year, okay, haphazardly, I'll say, all right, because they still need to be repaired. I was told it would be $500,000 to $650 to tear up all concrete, replace with proper surfaces, and then have regulation pickleball surfaces. So it depends how people go into the project.
So, all right, so we're thinking then the resolution, because we're not, although what Sheena was saying that, taking that down, if we do dedicate this to pickleball, that is going to increase the price. So, no. Say it again?
It's not landmark, is it?
It's not a landmark, is it?
To my understanding, to my understanding, no, but I'll look into it. To my understanding, no. To my understanding, no.
I mean,
Let's
that's.
just focus on
Getting
getting the surface redone.
So what would our actual resolution say?
So, okay, so the resolution then, it would say we support resurfacing, the court at St. Barton with, what is the surface?
Appropriate surface.
The appropriate surface.
The concrete with acrylic.
Okay, that we support. Do we add taking the handball wall down, or we?
Sheena?
No.
There's more cost to that.
If you want to make it all pickable, then removing the wall is the best way to do it, because you open it up more space. That's if we want to, right? I just feel that pickleball is an upcoming sport. If we want to get pickleball a fair shot, right? There are
Yeah.
much more handball courts than there are pickleball courts. And if you want to put on extra courts, then this will be it. Yes.
Okay, so, I'm sorry.
If the handball wall is taken down, where could the players go?
You're gonna ask to leave it?
Yeah.
You have several places. You have Robert Moses. Robert Moses.
Can you
has to
speak
leave.
one at a time? I'm trying to hear.
Yeah, we gotta go one at a time, please. Yes.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so I have a question. Cause I'm not clear. If you took the handball court down, how many pickleball courts do you have? And if you don't take it down, how many pickleball courts do you have?
Still, you would have 4 on each side.
The same amount
That you
or?
are-
No.
So, okay.
Yeah, I need a clear, if I can get a
The agenda
clear
says-
answer.
Yeah, so one moment.
The agenda says.
Please don't all speak at the same time.
If we're going to, if we want to eliminate the handball court, we would have to have a different agenda item.
Okay,
And because there would be people out there who would say, you didn't tell us you're getting rid of the handball court. You know, you're just talking about resurfacing it. And so if that's what we're talking about, that's what we should vote on.
okay, so that's what
Can I
then,
get a clear answer on my question,
so it's
please?
4. There will be 4.
Before or
Versus.
after? What
Now,
versus? I need
after.
versus.
Yeah, now and
And if
after.
they took down the wall
Uh-huh.
and did the whole area,
Right.
you'd probably get 6 people.
And right now you have
4.
So we're talking 2 more by removing that.
Okay, all right, so that's what we're gonna do then. We gotta put a resolution up. It's already 7:28. Okay, so that's what we'll do. We're gonna support the surfacing of St. Barton. And then that's what we're sort of gonna say, we support resurfacing, and then we can come back with exactly what type of resurfacing. Right?
No, there's a particular kind of resurfacing for it.
Standard.
And there's concrete and with acrylic, on top of it, you know, that's what they do. So
Okay,
we'll-
so-
we'll have that in the resolution.
But we're not taking the wall down because.
We're not
we
gonna-
have to put a new agenda.
Yeah, not taking the wall down, taking the wall down, that would be another
That's
agenda
another
item.
one.
We can
One
take-
at a time, please. I
1
can't-
second. Go ahead, Letty.
No, I'm trying to hear and everybody's talking.
Yeah, so we gotta do one at a time. So that's the resolution. I would present, do we have a motion for it or
Second.
Yeah.
second?
Oh, whatever, 1, 2.
Second,
I
okay,
was pointing that out.
so,
So this is the 4 courts we're talking about? We're not talking about the handball section right now.
That's a different,
That
that's
is the
different.
handball.
It's all the same.
It's all the
It's
same.
all
Yeah.
the same.
yeah,
Surfacing, okay, all right.
yes, it's the last one, yes.
I don't think. The whole area, even for the people who are practicing, that is, not to
Okay.
stop.
Yeah, it's the whole area.
Okay, so, thank you.
They,
That's a great point.
they
Thank
couldn't, they wouldn't do just. the
One at a
block.
time, please. I can't hear. I'm gonna go off.
Okay, so, all right,
I got that.
we gotta bring it down, so we're gonna put this to a resolution. All of this because of Kevin's great presentation.
It's all because of that.
So, all right, so that's it, resurfacing, I think we had a motion, right? Anton said 1, who has 2? 2,
2.
okay, there you go, second. All right, so we'll vote on it, we are in favor.
So a motion has been made and seconded. We'll now take a vote by roll call. When your name is called, please answer in favor, opposed, abstained, or not entitled. Marty Barrett,
In favor.
thank you. Paige Judge,
In favor.
thank you. Anton Mulder,
Favor.
thank you. Letty Simon,
In favor.
thank you. Mark Thompson,
In favor.
thank you. Neil Park,
In favor,
thank you. Sarah Whittington,
In favor.
thank you. Robert Clark,
In favor.
thank you. Rubin Siddiqui,
Cheaper.
thank you. Gloria Hay,
In favor.
thank you. Robbie Iqbal,
In favor.
thank you. With 11 in favor, 0 opposed, 0 abstaining, and 0 not entitled, the motion passes.
okay. You're okay, okay, thank you, I got the format. All right, thank you, everyone. That was easy.
Kevin,
So,
give me the dimension of the entire.
44 by 20 is a pickleball court, but we need
No,
more.
no, no, the whole area.
can
The
you
whole
send
area.
me? Okay, so we will go to number C, and we have Pam from Sutton Area Community. So, email that or- yeah, okay, all right, so let's move on. Let's move on to C. We have Pam here from Sutton.
Hi, everyone.
Sutton area community.
Sutton Area Community. How are you? Thanks for joining us.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. Great, fantastic. Okay, it's nice to be with all of you and thank you for having us and me. I'm Pam Zonzius, Vice President of Sutton Area Community Board. We at SAC are asking for your committee support and therefore through that support recommending to your CB6 board that a resolution vote be put forth to support SAC's Tree Great initiative. We hope through a passed resolution, CB6 will then send their recommendation to New York City Parks and that the SAC Tree Great initiative will go forward and be funded. The SAC Tree Great initiative is an initiative to replace approximately 61 tree pits with 61 tree grates on First Avenue from 52nd Street to 59th Street, East and West Side in Sutton Place. With the exception, of course, for the residential properties such as Sutton at 959 First Avenue at 53rd. As we know, First Avenue is predominantly a commercial avenue and not conducive to maintaining beautiful tree pits. As the predominantly residential streets are from the east to the west and cared for by the residential buildings. Presently, the tree pits on First Avenue are strewn with trash and rodent holes. We know if this initiative moves forward and is funded, it will have a big impact on controlling the trash conditions and have significant impact on the rodent populations and therefore change the overall landscape and upkeep along First Avenue. Replacing tree pits with tree grates is a practical way to address these difficult issues. It's important to note in our research, we have found that when installing tree grates in city sidewalks, it will not harm the trees at all. The tree grates are typically designed in 2 or more sections to allow them to be installed around existing trees without disturbing their root system, and therefore will not disturb the trees in the process. The quote we have from 2023 was confirmed today as a current quote. There are approximately 61 tree grates replacing 61 tree pits at $3,200 per grate. Totals approximately $195,200. This includes tree grates, measuring, installation, and delivery. This is an estimated price as tree pits vary in size. This quote was for an average 36 by 60 inch 3 by 5 size grate. And that's pretty much it. We hope you support this important initiative and let me know if you have any questions.
Any comments on this?
Yeah, I have some questions and comments. Now, is it my understanding that the tree pits in front of residential building are to be maintained by the building itself, just as they must maintain the sidewalks in front of their building?
Yes, that's correct. I mean, presently, all the residential buildings on First Avenue, which there aren't many of them, but there are a few, and they maintain their own tree pits. With flowers and watering, and even if there's scaffolding issues or whatever it might be. But predominantly, it's a commercial area, and that's why we have a big problem with the tree pits.
Okay, but yeah, I understand it's a commercial area. I live on First Avenue. But most of these commercial establishments are in residential buildings.
Yeah, on the main, yes, on the street level, yes.
So.
But they don't maintain the tree pits. No matter what we do, no matter how many letters we send to the owners of the buildings, that they're required to take care of the tree pits. They're responsible for the sidewalks and 18 inches from the curb out. It doesn't matter what we say in letters, and over and over and over. For the last 4 years, we've written so many letters and they all go unregarded.
So what about, there are buildings that do maintain the tree pits and have some beautiful flowers.
Sorry?
plantings.
I'm sorry, couldn't hear you.
Yeah, there are residential buildings on First Avenue that do maintain these
Yes.
tree pits and have beautiful plantings and flowers and the like.
Yes.
Now, I would not like to see that taken away by putting
Yeah,
tree
well,
grate.
No, that's not what we're talking about. As I just said, that there are residential buildings such as the Sutton at 959 First Avenue who have beautiful flowers in beautiful tree pits, and they maintain them beautifully. But when you have on the street level merchants, they don't take care of them. And they actually look to Sutton, to SAC to maintain them, and it's impossible.
Yes, for the second part is, up and down First Avenue, there are, how should I say, islands.
The median, the medians.
The medians.
Yes.
And there are tree pits in there, although none of them have trees, they all have plantings.
Yes,
Are
and we
you-
maintain them.
Yeah.
We maintain all of the medians with rose bushes from 52nd Street to 59th Street, all of them. And we don't have a problem with rodents in those medians because they don't burrow under the sidewalk. In all the tree pits, you have rodents that burrow under the side, into the tree pits under the sidewalk, and they have, thousands of rodents that live there. Now, what the solution, a temporary solution has been, is to hire an exterminator to come in and blow CO2 into the holes. And they do that when? At 5:30 in the morning. Why? Because at 5:30 in the morning, when you blow CO2 into the holes, all the rodents scurry out. They don't die. They scurry out and they find other homes. So that's not a permanent solution, and that has to be done on a monthly basis. This tree grate solution is a permanent solution because there's mesh, there's stone, and then there's a tree grate that goes on top of it that no rodents can burrow underneath at all.
It should be noted that this committee, many years ago, passed a resolution through the board that they're called tree beds, not tree pits.
Okay.
And we have always used the term tree beds, and in fact, the New York Times had picked up on it, and they use tree beds as well.
That's pre-Pam. I'm sorry, that's pre-me. I didn't realize that, so we'll call them tree beds in the future.
No, Pam, it's okay. Okay, so I think, what does everyone think with the resolution supporting the gates for tree what?
Tree beds.
Tree beds.
51.
Yeah,
If she has something written up, she should send it to us.
yeah, could you send? Okay.
I do. I have a quote from the Foundry here in New York that can measure, make, and install the tree grates.
Okay, Mark. Yeah.
If this comes to pass, I've noticed this on other tree beds where they do have tree grates, that when the tree grows, the grates tend to well up and either strangle the tree or the tree knobs push the grates out of the way. Is somebody going to be taking care of that in the future?
So what I understand in that case is what they do is they make sure that when they make the tree grate to begin with, they make room for the future tree growth. And in some of the, and I know what you're talking about, because in some of the tree grates, you have the base of the tree is knotted out and it's coming out and so forth and so on. I don't know how they planted them years, decades ago. I have no idea. But we would make room for the tree growth.
All right, one thing.
Just a quick thing.
Yeah.
Very successful tree grates, the Future Building at 32nd and Third. Honestly, I don't know what they did or how they did it, but those are the most successful tree grates I've seen in the city. They're very well maintained. They're exactly what you said. There's a grate, there's stone, and there's
33 and second?
32nd and Third.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Future Building.
Oh.
Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's.
Okay, okay, so we have that. You said you have some information that you can send to us?
Yeah, no, I have a quote from the Foundry, that would completely suffice as far as a quote goes.
Okay, could you send that in to
Sure.
the office? And then we can have a look, and then we could discuss it again next month, and we could put a resolution together. I think
Absolutely.
everyone would be more comfortable if we had something in writing we could
Absolutely.
take a look at. But thank you so much for coming. It's nice to have someone from the Sutton area community come for the first time. So you're always welcome, and we'll
Thank
look
you.
out for that email.
It's a pleasure to be here.
One moment, Brian.
So, we just have one question in the Q&A. It says, by having the city pay for some of the tree beds, does that not incentivize other buildings to also stop maintaining their tree beds?
Well,
I mean, that's something, it's something that's certainly possible, but I think for this, so we can pick that up, the next meeting when we discuss this more, so, okay? All right. Thank you so much.
thank you. Thank you very
Okay.
much. And we'll
Take
speak
care.
next time. We'll see you next time.
Yes, thanks, Pam, and you have my contact, and you have the
I do.
office.
Neil, I will send it off to you tomorrow.
Oh, all right, thank you so much.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Pleasure.
Have a good night.
Brian, who's responsible for the trees on the street?
The tree beds?
Park.
Well, parks,
Parks, because they would put out a bid, they wouldn't necessarily use this Foundry,
Okay,
to begin with.
Yeah.
so Mark.
It's just a baseline. This is a baseline.
Okay, so we can. Okay, so we'll get to that one next month, so just because we have to keep moving, and then we also have someone has their hand up, Tesmo. So, number 2 on the agenda, this will be the report from the Parks and Recreation Department. Yeah, so she has,
Tess Smiley?
yeah, but I believe she has a question that's related to Augusta St. Gaudens, would that be right?
Hold on, let me promote her.
Or you can just, can we message back or?
Hi,
Tess should be able to speak.
yes, hi, how are you? Thank you
Hi,
for,
I'm sorry, is the question related to Augusta St. Gaudens?
yes, my question is related to that. I thank you.
Okay.
You can hear me?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, you
Okay.
can ask Sheena, yep.
Okay. So I'm a PS40 Augusta St. Gaudens Elementary School parent, and on behalf of our school community, we're looking for an up-to-date, accurate timeline for the scheduled reconstruction of the Augusta St. Gaudens playground. The website states that the completion date for this project has changed, but there's no further information. And the reason why this information is so important is because our school, PS40, and the middle school, 255, the Salk School, are currently undergoing extensive exterior construction. And the School Construction Authority began this work in September of 23, and it's not scheduled to be completed until March of 26. So during the ongoing DOE construction, our 2 schools do not have access to their rooftop playground and their interior courtyard. Plus, the school construction staging area has already closed the basketball court and is using it as a staging area for their construction. So right now, the school always has sole access to the playground, but currently it is the only outdoor area that we have for recess, and we also use it for wellness classes.
if both projects are going concurrently, our students will have 0 outdoor access for potentially over a year. So we're looking, I know it's not on the agenda for tonight, but we're looking for more information so that we can plan. And we're wondering what's the possibility of delaying the construction of Augusta St. Gaudens Playground?
Okay.
You ready? All right, so I'm going to address the Augusta St. Gaudens issue right now. I don't know who put it out there that this thing is supposed to start next month or within the next month. That's not true. That's not accurate, right? We're still in, we haven't even gotten to the procurement schedule date, which is scheduled to complete in June of 2025, right? That's the procurement phase. And then, we did take in consideration, because we've known prior that the school is under this renovation to the building, and that they are using the basketball court. So we did ask for a delay, and after the because the basketball court is not a part of the renovation to the playground area at all. So we did ask for a delay. And we are working with once we get to that stage, which we are like almost like a year or so away from that. So we have positive thoughts that we'll be able to get it delayed until we gain the basketball court back from the school, pending that the school doesn't bump into any issues. Right. They said it's supposed to be released in 2026. We're hoping that it does. I don't know if we can prolong it past the 2026 without causing some other further delays in getting this playground renovated, which took 40 years to get done, and the community has fought very hard to get this playground renovated, which is a much needed thing. So we are positive that we're going to be able to delay it. I cannot tell you that accurately, but we're nowhere near the stage of starting renovation to this playground. We're like a year and a half or so away. So no, that's not happening. All right. And we did reach out. Once we get the contractor, then we can have a discussion on, can we delay it until the basketball court can reopen for the school, because we are aware of that. So I hope that answers the question.
That does answer my question, and I really we so appreciate that, because we know we were told at first that the construction was going to begin in the spring, and then yes, the rumor mill is that it's starting earlier, but you're saying that's the next phase,
That's
which is
not true.
So yes,
I don't know who said that. It's not true.
I don't know where it comes from, but I just want to say that we truly appreciate it, that this is even on. We were afraid it wasn't even on your radar. So we
were always aware of that, but we even discussed it prior to with Miss Susan Felder. Prior to that, we already discussed. She already laid it out for us prior to that. The construction started on the building.
And
she had already let us know that.
We're anxious for the construction to happen. It's just because it's very needed in the foundation and the pavement. It just can't happen at the same time. So
well, we're going to try our hardest. I don't know if the school has any delayed past the 2026 what they gave. I don't know if we're going to be able to delay it past that. Now that's something I can't tell you, right, for sure. Then that is something that the school will have to figure out on their end, because in the beginning they did tell us it was going to open back up in 2026. So if they don't stick to their agreement, then that can't be on parks. We don't want to lose the funding or for it to cost more money to make the repairs that's needed for this playground, because this playground is in desperate need of necessary repairs. So I don't know if the school hold up to their bargain, then I think we'll be able to do what we need to do to delay it before starting. And we were also asked to start it after the school year, so is over, so it doesn't interrupt. So it's a lot of little things. We just hoping that everything is on schedule with the school, and that doesn't hold it up. Okay.
Okay, that's wonderful news. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so
Tess is one of the parents at PS40 and they're very, very involved, so we appreciate her attending. Yes, Sheena, sorry.
so yeah, so in an event that we can't do that, we're looking to other little things that we can try to do. We are looking for other ways that we can try to resolve this because this was all thought out. We thought this all out when we even made this plan when the school told us that they were going to use the basketball court for their staging. So we were coming up with all types of ideas of how we can be better service to school because we do understand there are 2 schools there. So and then we have the other schools that use it, the kids with special needs that also utilize this play park as well. So we were thinking of everyone here and try to resolve something to make it better because it's not like it's other areas that they can really go to. So we know that we're very we're very concerned about all of this, and we're not leaving anyone out. We're just hoping that the school is on schedule so then that when we go to the contractors and say once we get to that stage, can you delay it to this date that the school is on point for that, right? And if the school is not on point, then we're going to bump into some trouble. All right, then that's what I see. We bumping into some trouble. Other than that, I don't see it being a problem because Steve is working very hard at making sure we get this done the right way. Okay.
Yeah, then we'll be on top of school construction to make sure it's staying on schedule.
Okay. All right.
Thank
So
you.
now everybody can rest. That's it. Okay.
Appreciate
So
it. Thank
I'm going to. So we got some good news and some. I was hoping that the board can really work hard at trying to get parks parking on East 35th Street side. We've been trying to get parking there on the 36th Street side, which we've been pushed out by the MTA. But we still would like to get some parking for designated park vehicles on the 35th Street side of the park. So I'm just looking to see if CB 6 can help us out with that. Peter Detmo, we're scheduled in the next 2 weeks. We're scheduled to have it open. We're working very hard to get it open in the next 2 weeks because I know that's a concern of the community, and that's been a little it's been a little delayed. We just bumped it, bumped into some problems once they, uprooted the ground and found there was some problems underneath there, but they rectified it, so we should be able to open back up the park in 2 weeks. I'll give you a definite day once it comes to me. I'll reach out to CB6 and let them know. Okay. Murphy Brothers playground, the brand new Murphy Brothers playground. We have a tentative open day next week. Around the 7th or so. We just had a little couple of hiccups that before we accept the playground back to us, we want them to make the necessary repairs that they have to do in the park before we say yes, give it back to parks. And then we're going to once we do that, we're going to have a ribbon cutting shortly after that, and I'll send it to the community board so everyone can come and visit this brand new beautiful park. It's actually amazing. It doesn't have everything, but it has everything. So there were some issues with Dak Hammersco, the construction. We're still working with the construction. We're on better speaking terms of being able to get them to cut back on the scaffolding and give back some of the park to the residents and the people in the community who I was visiting. So we're a few weeks away from that taking place. We thought it was going to take place sooner, but there was a breakdown in conversation with all parties, with parks, the contractors, the building contractors, and the building management. So hopefully within the next few weeks we have been resolve some of this problem to give back the community some of the plaza back. So hopefully that'll work out. I'm have my fingers crossed. Stuyvesant Park. We have we having a major uptick in homeless. It's really this. I've been here going on 3 years, and this is the worst I've seen it. Um, so we're trying different things to see if how we can you know scale back and get rid of this issue that we're having here. With drug usage, the needles that we are finding inside the park is coming from the particular group that's coming in. And we're working with DHS and our parks division and NY PD and to see how we can better service the people. A lot of people do not want to go into shelters because they feel unsafe. So we're looking to see how we can better serve. I don't know. I don't have a exact solution to this problem. This is a worldwide problem, really. And it's saddening that it's like this, but it's something that we have to deal with, and we're gonna try to stay on top of it as much as we can. But it's not an easy thing, and I'm not gonna say it's gonna be resolved overnight because it's not. This is major, and a lot of people are unwell. So we're working with the necessary people that we need to work with to get this done, and hopefully something to come out of it. um I have so last but not least, Vincent Albano, right? I know we it's it's near completion, right? And I know there is some big issues about pickleball inside this particular area.
So Sheena,
Yes.
that's the last thing on our agenda.
Yes.
So we'll move on. Okay.
Yeah, wait,
We'll go to that
okay.
one. So one question I did have from the community. So on 34th and
Yes.
First Ave, right there, the Pops, that's on the east side of the street on the corner. Does Parks take care of that, or would that be another department that would handle?
On 34th Street?
Yeah.
No, that's not us. No.
Who would that be? Which
You're
department?
you're talking about on First Avenue?
Oh, First Ave, yeah.
I don't know. It might be DOT. It might be, but I really don't know.
Paige?
Hi. Yes, isn't that taken care of by the apartment house you're talking about?
It's the management, yeah. Property owners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Rivergate, yeah.
Rivergate?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's it. So we'll move to the third, yeah.
Well, it should be noted though that, there's been a homeless, incursion on the East Midtown Greenway.
Okay.
See that?
You're talking about at the Southern Place on 53rd?
Yeah.
Yeah, we know about that. That's one individual. We have the pictures and we sent it out to our unit. He has a whole setup there.
Yeah, but also on the Greenway itself, not just the Sutton Park.
Okay, so the Greenway itself is, I'll pass it on to my co-worker who's responsible for the Greenway itself. But the Sutton Park, there's someone in there too. They have a whole hammock and all of this stuff that's right inside on 53rd Street is all set up. And we noticed it today when the crews went there to clean. So we sent it out to our park enforcement. So we're gonna try to get to it tomorrow, along with Stuyvesant as well. We're gonna try. But this particular, we want to nip this in the bud. He has a lot of stuff there. But I'll pass that on as well. To my partner about the Greenway there.
Brian?
I see there's a few questions in the Q&A, Christina. The first one is, they saw a notice posted on the West Park, but they wanted to know if that applies to both sides of Stuyvesant Square Park, since the majority of the issues are in the East Park.
They sing it's on both sides. They're really on both sides. Yeah. I think it's 2 individuals on the west and the remainder, I think it's like 3 on the east. And you know, when we do have these cleanups, you know, they exit out the park, but then they exit to the perimeter area. They just go to the corner. And once NYPD leaves, they migrate back inside the park. So it's a big issue, right? NYPD at this point can't stand in the park all day. We just don't have the luxury of having them there all day stand, and we just don't have the luxury to have park enforcement there, you know, from morning to evening, you know, to the park close. We just don't have enough staffing to be able to do that, to better regulate it. So, you know, staff is there, but staff is there to maintain the cleanliness of it. They can't, you know, move the individuals outside the park. That's not what they're, you know, that's not what they can do. And it's a real hard battle because a lot of the individuals are not well.
So Sheena, I think someone in the community, they had asked as well, if there is a cleanup, let's say in Stuyvesant Square Park, if there's a cleanup on the East Park and it's posted, does that also mean that the West Park will be cleaned up as well, or is it just the one side?
So the law requires us to post it on both sides when we're going to do these cleanings, right? So we have to notify them, right? They have to be notified in advance. So it's just not, we can't just come there and tell them to move. Right. We have to let them know. So if the notice is on the east side, then that's what we'll be doing, the east side. But a lot of times what they do is they go from the east side to the west side, right? So it's probably best that we post notice on both sides to make everyone aware that we're going to do the east and the west side. Right. Okay. And we do ask that. Sometimes it's just overwhelming on the east side. Very overwhelming.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that's everything on the parks report. So now we'll get to the last item on the agenda. So this is the pickleball one. So just some ground rules, right? Each person will have 1 minute to speak. And that's it, because we're gonna have to move on. It's already 8:03. People are ready to go watch the debate. So we'll have 1 minute. Let's see. Our note taker is ready.
Should I get my phone for the minutes?
Yeah, you wanna record it?
I'll send you the report.
So I think, so we will just start. There were a couple things that we had taken a look at. First with pickleball, because a major issue, or maybe the issue, or few of the issues, is the sound. Brian, can you play the first 30 seconds of the video? We wanted everyone to hear the sound, just in case there were some people on the committee that were not from. You have to excuse that. That was the best one that we could find. I mean, trust me, I didn't want to put it up.
What are you playing the sound besides pickleball? Where is it?
No, that's all.
No,
It's pickleball in general, so the people know what the sound is.
Traffic in New York City?
No, so the people know what the sound is. So, yeah, we're gonna go.
Yeah.
Come on, I want to watch the debate.
We're done with that.
Can I just, before we start, where are you guys, what has happened in the last couple of months when there hasn't been, a meeting and discussions with parks? Because I just want to kind of get context on where you guys are.
What do you mean?
Before everyone
I
starts.
mean, as a committee?
As a committee in regards to this issue and parks, if there's been any movement or discussion.
Okay, so where we are right now, the park is almost completed.
Yeah.
I think you're, okay. The park is almost completed. My understanding is that this would be one of the last pieces.
Yep.
We have, we spoke about this, as a committee. And, there were people from the neighborhood who advocated very well and they, voiced what their position was. And, they had some real concerns about the pickleball court there. And so we're now having this, discussion. And, with the hopes of, I guess, like narrowing it down to see what exactly it is. So is it gonna be a pickleball court, basketball court, or another option? But, so we're gonna listen, everyone will have a minute, and then the committee will make a decision if we can, if it's a resolution at that time. No, we're going to have a resolution because the Parks Committee really wants, the Parks Department really wants to get this open. And it looks really good, by the way. It looks great. Gone past the sprinkler is nice. And so, we're gonna set it up for, I guess we don't have that set up anymore. So I guess we'll just start from the front of the room and then go around.
We voiced our opinions with St. Martin's being a pickleball.
No. So this one right here is just about, putting a pickleball court at Albano Playground.
I know, but I'm saying.
No, St. Martin.
You already made the resolution that you're gonna put pickleball at St. Martin.
One moment. What we did at St. Martin with the resolution is the surface. Right, so it's the update on the surface. We didn't touch anything, so we haven't gotten to that, like moving the wall or anything like that, but we did get to the surface, so that's good, because as Kevin noted, a big thing are, people getting injured. We don't want that. We don't want anyone to get hurt. So this one right here, this would just be a discussion of, pickleball court at Vincent Albano. Brian, can you put up the Google Earth? So we got a nice shot, Google Earth, see where Vincent Albano is located, and then, all right. So, yeah, can we zoom in? Okay, now, this, no.
That's funny.
Yeah. Can you?
Keep going, there you go.
Go.
You need to spin it a bit.
Boom.
So right there, that's where the pickleball court would be, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where it is. So
The
can you,
pickleball court will be on the asphalt,
On the black part, not
On
on
the
the, not on the
asphalt.
concrete.
So-
blacktop,
so that
Right,
That's
right,
it.
by the pond.
correct.
right here.
Yeah.
And then that is 29.
That's
Correct.
right.
It's 29, yeah.
Yes, 29th Street.
The playground.
This is 29.
Okay. All right, so that's where I would be. And so where do we want to start? We're gonna do 1 minute each.
Well, yeah.
That's the part. So maybe it needs, so we can come back to it. So, we could start here at the front. You wanna go last?
Yeah.
You're still gonna have 1 minute,
I
so.
I'll go first.
Kevin, you got anything? Okay, we got the timer for 1 minute? Okay. Would you like to add anything?
I'm
No?
listening. Cass.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll say, my pickleball.
Oh, is it, oh, sorry,
yeah.
yeah, I'm sorry, just, one thing. So, do you live in the district?
Yes.
Okay, do you live, like near Second Avenue or 29? Are you in that area?
No, I don't live in the district. I'm a pickleball player.
Okay.
Used to play at Albano.
Okay.
Yeah, so pickleball was at Albano before. I understand there's been exponential growth in pickleball, all around the city. There's very few dedicated pickleball courts as it stands. So reusing public spaces to accommodate the growth is a natural approach. And the noise constraint, I believe it's a hard sell because there's a fire department there, there's a playground there. It's not inherently louder than other sports. You have basketball, you have a lot of shouting that's inherent in recreation. So I think there's a lot of natural fear I don't understand why those interests could overpower the thousands. Or deprive access to wood.
That's the.
Is there?
Sound effect.
Who expects more from the city in terms of, I mean, we're grateful for the St. Barnes, but removing access to pickleball to Albano would actually take away what we already had, right? So this is something that would, it's not just, that's what I'd like to say. It's hard to see why pickleball is more hateful than other sports.
Yeah, thank you. You ready?
Cheryl, I wanted to go. Okay, so basically, I, don't live near the area. I used to play pickleball there.
I'm so sorry. Are you in the district?
Yeah, I am in,
Okay. Thank
but I don't live in the vicinity of that,
Okay, thank you.
location. However, used to play pickleball there. I used to bring my 3 children to the playground there, and they're equally, if not, louder than the pickleball noise that we make. Now, as you see, Kevin used one of the pictures of one of my kids playing pickleball. So she has transitioned from that stage of her life where she played in the playground that Albano used to provide. Now she's transitioning into more adulthood and getting into activities that are more adult geared towards, right? Pickleball. So now, like by removing or like discriminating against the sport that she's growing naturally into from the childhood, I just still do not understand the argument against pickleball simply because of the noise pollution. I do agree that there is some noise I just don't understand how much more
Yeah,
it is compared to other noises in the city.
thank you so much. Okay. Yes, we're ready? Okay, and before you start, just, do you live in the district?
Yeah, if you wanna bring the map up, actually, my apartment is attached to the court.
Oh, can you put the map back up?
So actually,
Brian's got a lot going in now. Hold on.
so yeah, the court, so basically where the court is, my apartment backs right onto it, it's like 2 feet away.
Do you have, or is it tough to get up?
But yeah, just,
Can you just show us, just out of curiosity?
so that's the pickleball, my apartment's just there.
Right
This is
there.
our apartment here.
Okay.
So basically noise complaint,
You can go.
multiple cities around US have done noise studies. This is one from Colorado. This is probably one of the best ones I've found. It basically goes into more of how pickleball's impact sound. The sound travels through our apartment. So we hear it early in the morning, late at night, and we hear it more than once. When you hit the pickleball in Albano, it echoes. So we hear bang, 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 bang. And we get that in our apartment. So it's early in the morning, during the day, it's just a constant ricochet. And we do have like people like talking, screaming, kids playing basketball. We've been there for like 5 years now. It's never been an issue.
And pickleball's been the loudest one.
The pickleball has been outright. As soon as that was there, it disrupted our whole neighborhood, and our community board got involved, and
Okay.
we're all trying to like work out how to solve it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And I've also got a video if you want to hear the sound of pickleball in Albano.
Okay, yeah, you can, yeah, I can listen. Well, not now.
Not now, but I'll
We can
show it to you later.
afterwards, yeah, or something. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay,
Please.
so, so there's basketball courts diagonally across from that park behind that they just put in,
In Bellevue South?
basketball.
Okay.
And when you play pickleball at Albano and the guys are playing basketball, which, not at Albano, I'm sorry, at St. James. And the guys are playing basketball next door, you can hear the basketball over the pickleball. And also it's New York City, man. I mean, I can't even hear my television sometimes, but I live on the 18th floor.
Are
And I
you,
live on 25th.
okay, are you in the district?
Yeah, 25th Street.
Okay. Okay, 25th, okay.
And there's no park near me and still, on the 18th floor, and I think that might be off the sound. So it's sort of the traffic and the noise of the city.
Okay.
I think it's in.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Brian, do you have the timer ready?
And I just wanna ask, is there not any way to put any soundproofing like on the?
Well, so we can get to that,
Okay.
right? So we're just going, okay, you ready? Okay, please.
Okay, I live on 36th and First, so I'm in the community park, blah, 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 okay? Our Slack group has grown from less than 200 people to over 3,500 people. But the Slack just in the last 3 years. There's about 3,500 people playing at St. Barton Park, but those 4 courts are busy throughout the day and shared with, more so with the tennis ball than handball. My concern is by taking away a court or 2 that we've used at Albano, okay, when handball players are not there, all right? Only makes it more difficult for the fastest growing sport in America to proliferate through the city with fairness to everybody. I understand the gentleman's concern. We have to find a different alternative for noise reduction without court space reduction.
Thank you. Thank you. You said it again. Okay.
Is that like the music to like get you off the stage? Okay, so
Yes, sir.
it is called Frank Albano Junior. My name is Bill. I live at 32nd and Second. I've been taking care of this park for 10 years.
Thank you.
Okay. The park is called Frank Albano Junior Playground. It is a place where children have been playing for almost 40 years, okay? The minute the pickleball showed up, the amount of kids on the weekends disappeared. They don't want to be there, okay? They are not allowed to play in areas where they learn to ride their bikes. They played soccer, they played football. I played tennis. I'm not allowed to play tennis there on the weekends. It is impossible, okay? This is a playground. This is a place where children play. There is no playground area like that, an open space there. It does not exist at Bellevue Park South, at St. Barton. The only place in our immediate area where we have a nice open area where kids can play around is at Albano. It is a very nice, unique park on the corner that has served the community for a long time. Pickleball's been there for 2 years, okay? I have nothing against pickleball.
Okay.
It's just not what this park was designed for. And the last thing I'm gonna say is there was never, ever a public discussion on whether a pickleball court should be part of the design, the redesign of Albano Park.
That's the map that you reached. That was
This is the original design. We said,
The
we
joint
don't
play
want,
area.
we got rid of the track. We didn't want the track. Then they said, let's put in a basketball court. I said, we don't want a basketball court. What do you want? We said, nothing. Leave it. Let the kids play.
Okay, so
I'm
what?
done.
Yeah, no, okay, so.
Square area.
This was on the website
Right,
for years.
right, but that's why we're here. I mean,
Yeah.
like, you came, you voiced.
Yeah,
You know,
I
we were
know.
glad.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you really put that so the community had a
Somebody
voice.
should take down.
Hi, I'm
Yes.
Tina Ray, I live on 33rd and Second. I've been in the area for like 25 years. I agree with Charlie, it's ever growing, 3,500 pickleball players in the area. I bought a pickleball like 2 years ago. It gets me out of the house. It's like the wonderful. Anyway, long story short, I agree they should have their, tennis, they should have their handball. In a perfect world, you make 6 courts at St. Barton. If you're gonna do it right. And let them have their court on Albano. But I think that the need for 3,500 people, put it down, take it all down on St. Barton's Park and make 6 courts, make it proper, make it right. Give them Albano Park and it makes everybody happy. So we get the 2 extra courts,
1 second. I'm
we get
sorry.
the 2 extra courts, they get what they want. And you're fulfilling both needs. If you're gonna say $500,000, I'm sure you can get 6 courts there easily.
Okay, so you would say no pickleball then.
On Albano, but make 6
I think the
courts.
solution we talked
Yeah,
about here
that's
tonight
true.
is fabulous, like, take that area, turn it into a pickleball court, make it even better.
Okay, alright, so,
Isn't
okay,
there a giant
Right.
space at St. Barton's
Right.
for kids to play in, a whole field?
no,
No.
so,
No.
wait, we just agreed to put lights up, we're very familiar with St. Barton.
Yeah,
with the
don't-
Maybe
field
you
and
seem
then
to
lights.
wanna appease everybody, and that's the right thing to do.
Right,
It's
exactly.
a demonstration though.
Okay, yeah, we gotta do one question, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, but we gotta keep it to 1 minute. No, I'm being
No,
serious,
because I mean,
because,
we painted the pickleball court on the asphalt so that people, so people could play tennis. And the agreement was, When someone wanted to come play tennis, people got off that court and let them play tennis.
And they did.
No, oh my
So,
God.
no. Okay, all right, we need some.
Don't, please don't.
Okay.
You need your gavel.
Okay, yeah, we gotta, I mean, I'll have Marty hit this thing. So, all right, so we had everyone speak. I know that obviously big issue. There are some ways to, I guess, mitigate the sound, you know. Let's see. Can you share the racket and the ball that I sent over? We've done our research here. We're really trying to understand this thing. So here's one. We have Hush. Nice name. This is 189. Feel like I'm selling it. But this is also Quiet Ball. So these are some things that could possibly, you know, lower the sound, right? The issue that we have, and Sheena knows this, and everyone who works in the Parks Department knows this. How do we enforce that? How do we make sure that pickleball players use these types of, you know, paddles and balls? So that's number one. So there is, you know, there's equipment out there, but how do we enforce people actually using that equipment? All right, so that's one thing. Number two, we also talked about hours. We talked about hours where maybe people could start playing at 9 AM on the weekends. Or maybe people could start talking, you know, people could start playing at 10 AM. Problem that we have there, who enforces it, right? Who comes, Pep Officer, NYPD, we don't even have enough to, you know, handle the issues at Stuyvesant Square. So, you know, I think because of those, you know, those things, I think it's really challenging, with the situation. And I think that definitely, I took notes here. You know, there definitely are people who are certainly in favor and there are people who are against. And of course, I've asked the committee, but, there was one thing that also stood out, and I think we really may be able to hit a balance here. I think with, just to go back, so the idea of having just pickleball at St. Barton, that we would set that up with the surface, the resurfacing. Kevin has noted about closing the street, and one of the things that he said with the street was that kids can learn to ride their bikes there because they no longer can learn to ride their bikes where the field is, because that's where people play soccer, and then we have lights. So at Albano, with what the setup is there, if we leave that open, that would be a place where kids could learn to ride their bikes. They would have that space. Sheena, is it possible to leave that open? To leave that area open just where kids can ride their bikes?
Yes, it's possible to leave it open. The problem is that that particular area is open for adults as well. So the adults in the playground area, adults are not allowed without the company of a child. That's in with the play apparatus is. Once you walk into the area where is handball, the handball court area and the sitting area is open for adults. I'm at for against this, right? I did see the decline in the drug activity once pickleball got in it, right? But I don't live there, so I don't know about the sound, right? And that's taking place, and that's irritating a lot of people when they're trying to rest or, you know, just want a peace of mind. So it's a really hard toss up to leave the area free is good, but the kids will be there with the adults, and potential the drug usage will come back there in a higher scale because it'll be a brand new area for them to be able to escape.
So
something should go there. I think something should be there. If it's not pickleball, if it's not basketball, something else should be there to accommodate and eliminate the drug activity that potentially could come back there. That's all.
Okay. So
it's a hard
right.
sell.
Okay, so just the way I'm viewing this, and just to put it to the committee, I think that with not putting a pickleball court there in Albano still allows everything to be covered. We've talked about, St. Barton, we've taken care of St. Barton. Talked about, closing the street there on 36, one of the points where kids can learn to ride their bikes, because they can no longer learn to ride their bikes on the field because we have, their soccer, which is great, the soccer players have kids out there, right? And if we keep Albano without a pickleball court, we have a place where kids can learn to ride their bikes, because it's very difficult. The bike lane is not a place for a kid to learn to ride a bike, maybe at 12 and 13. And nothing against bike lanes, we have done plenty of things with bike lanes. No, we've had like bike lanes that were blocked off and they were flooded, and we have been on top of all that, so nothing against bike lanes. It'd be great, and kids, it's great exercise. So, just the way that I'm viewing it is, that's the way I would set it up. But it's, see what the committee thinks.
About 38 years ago, when the four-story buildings were in that area and came down, I was part of the committee that was designing the park originally, that the Albano Republican group committee contributed towards the upkeep of that park. There used to be an Albano Park, Friends of an Albano Park, which again was being subsidized by the Albano Republican club, right? I don't know.
Frank's
Frank's
They're still
Club.
there.
This is, okay. At that time, that area was designed to be open. It was for, there was a wall there that people can, hit, play tennis off of, or handball or whatever, but the whole area was open so that kids can have an open area. And it seems to have been continued in the new design, that that's still an open area. And I feel that it should be.
Anyone? Yes.
Can it be a turf? Can we put turf there?
So you already have turf. You already have turf at St. Barton. So the turf, the way that it's set up, kids cannot ride their bikes.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not happening. It's
The
not.
bikes don't go along. Yeah.
Right, so it's very difficult. So with that, if we were to put up, I guess, all right, so one last thing before going to a vote. Well, I guess we know, so we have said that we would cover everything and we would just keep that section open so that, it's open for kids who are running out of spaces, in the city. A couple people in the community, they also mentioned that when talking about other projects they were asking. So what I would say is that we would just, we wouldn't add a pickleball court to, Vincent Albano, based on what we've said, that we've covered everything else. We've taken care of St. Barton. We got the field there with lights. The potential, I guess, like a street closing. That may be difficult, but that's something. We have handball that's covered there at Vincent Albano, as well as, Robert Moses and, a bunch of different ones, Asher Levy. And so then you have the space for kids. And I think what's really important here, one thing we're really facing in the city is, we're really running out of space, and then especially in our district. And I think unfortunately what happens is that, one group no one's guilty, but one group has this, one group has that, this group had this much and now they're down with this, and then, so, in my opinion, that's the way I would do it. I would say to leave a pickleball court out of, Vincent Albano, and to leave the space open. Is that for me?
That's the word.
And, to leave it open, so it's a space where, kids can ride their bikes. Free space. So, and at first, any motions? Okay, is that one? Two?
Yeah.
Two, okay. So we got,
a motion and two.
yeah, we got, first, second, we'll vote on it.
All right, so we'll now take a roll call vote. With the name called, please answer in favor, oppose, abstain, or untitled. Marty Barrett.
In favor.
You. Paige Judge.
I go along with the plan.
I will come back to Paige. Anton Malman.
In favor.
Thank you. Letty Simon. Letty, are you there?
Unmute.
Can you unmute Letty?
You can keep going, right? Come back.
I'll come back. Mark Thompson.
In favor.
Thank you. Neil Barker.
In favor.
Thank you. Sarah Whittington.
In favor.
Thank you. Robert Barker.
In favor.
Thank you. Rubin Siddiqui.
In favor.
Thank you. Gloria Hay.
In favor,
Thank
with a
you.
question mark behind it.
We don't have that option.
No, still, I don't know how to totally abstain because it's probably the best solution, but I think this idea of noise is a big issue that people need to address.
Then you're,
That's the name.
oh, God, sorry. So, yeah,
Page,
let us just continue with the vote.
in favor? Okay.
In favor,
Thank
okay.
you.
Evening, everybody.
I'm here in favor. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Yes.
hear you. Thank you,
Okay.
Letty. I got it.
Sorry.
Okay, and Rabia Iqbal.
In favor.
Thank you. Okay, with 11 in favor, 0 opposed, 0 abstaining, and 0 not entitled, the motion passes.
All right, that's it. So does anyone want to write that resolution?
I'll write it.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm already writing one.
With the
for my
question
other
mark.
door. But I have, question mark, because you
No,
only
no,
have so
I know.
much
Yeah,
time,
we
but
could
there's a
take-
lot of issues around
Yeah,
all this that still
absolutely.
have to be addressed.
So I would just say one thing, just on the ending this. So number 4, chairs report, I'm waiving it. Number 5, no old or new business, and then that's it. Meeting
Can I ask something?
8:32. Can we talk offline? Okay, so that's it.
Thank you.
Everyone have a good evening.
Are you guys having a meeting that?
The whole thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just.
Yeah.
You know, we are used to it, right? So they have tons of discussion.